What is up, guys? So, the Gacha revenue for May 2026 has been out, and things are rapidly changing again. So here it is. I won't waste too much time going one by one, but we'll start with whatever that most people care about, and that is Arknights Enfield dropping down to like 25 to like 35, from 17 million to 4 million. There's a lot of reason to this. I'll get into it later. But to sum it all up, it's basically Zhongfangyi banner was just way too long. The rerun banner was just a bit weird and didn't have too much success. The rerun banner was just very mixed. And overall, was just not very competitive with the other games, especially towards in May. Because, you know, Zhongfangyi banner starts at like April 17 and all the way until like May 22. And then there was like a weird 5 or 6 days without a limited time banner and only a rerun banner. And the rest is kind of the same, you know, Azure Lane, a bit of increase, and skip all over to like 17. Zenla Zone 0 has maintained at the same position at 17 for like a month, going to like 9 million. I think Billy just dropped. I think there's more for like Promea. Uma Musume at a bit higher, and then FGO, actually a big increase, all the way to number 10 now, all the way to top 10. And then now it's the more interesting one, NTE is at number 9 from 6 million to 22 million. I think this is for Nanui banner and also for Hotori banner, because NTE released in like April 29th or something. So this stats is basically launch NTE full in his most hype form. Then we have Pokemon, Naruto, Nikkei. Arknights are doing crazy well at like top 5, considering it's a pretty old game and it has like a popular spin-off successor. Arknights went from 21 million to like 30 million, which is insane. Then we have Wuthering Waves. Then we're starting to get to the big names like Wuthering Waves, and like number 4, the anniversary character, I believe this is for Hiyuki and Dinia, from 14 million to 31 million. This one is a bit surprising, because I thought that Hiyuki was like flopping or something. But you know, I guess turns out it was still pretty good. Wuthering Waves still pretty popular, but ultimately still being overshadowed by things like Honkai Star Rail, Genshin Impact, and Love and Deep Space. But let's see their numbers respectively. Oh, Honkai Star Rail actually had a big decline, but it's still in like the top 3. 58 million to 37 million. I think this decline is from the Silver Wolf to the Evanissia one. And like 2 days ago, I think like and just yesterday they just released Blade. So I'm guessing everyone and their mothers spend their money on Silver Wolf, and Evanissia is left to the second half. But still, for me, I got both. I got Silver Wolf and both Evanissia. I think both are pretty good. I cannot like decide on which elation to play with when I play Honkai Star Rail nowadays. But you know, safe to say Honkai Star Rail Anniversary actually overshadow Wuthering Waves Anniversary by slightly a bit. You know, just they're both in the 30 million. Now let's go over to Genshin Impact, who's been facing a bunch of drama with their free-to-play pools recently. It actually increased by only a little bit from the 40 million to 41 million. Actually did not change. So Genshin Impact is at 2. Honkai Star Rail and Love and Deep Space just traded their places. So Genshin Impact, what character was rolling? I think it was Nicole, and before Nicole it was like a rerun of it was like Llama, Nefer rerun, and then Nicole, I think. And then they also had Duran rerun too. So I think Nicole was the big character that helped sells the game again. For me personally, I didn't roll for Nicole. I think we're all saving for Lohen. So expect like the next month of Genshin to be crazy popular again. You know what? I predict that Genshin is going to be number 1 actually in the next month. Or at least number 2 behind Love and Deep Space. Okay, so back to my area of expertise. Let's talk about NTE for a bit before we go back to Enfield. So NTE, you know, the launch performance is crazy good. But you know, for me, I had a bit of concern, and you might also realize that why I haven't uploaded much NTE content. Me personally, I see that a lot of like content creators also just didn't cover NTE that much in these past few days. I know there's some recency bias, you know, Arknights Enfield just teased some new content that seems more exciting, and any future content doesn't seem to be that much hype. The next character, Lacrimosa, is pretty big, but it's kind of okay for me. We already have Sparksy and Sparkle at home. Also, the next male character, Chaos, just looks a bit alright. And I think endgame for NTE is one of the weakest point. It's kind of like Spiral Abyss Beyond the Rails, but we need enough like we need enough the adventure rank SP XP to like unlock the levels, and we don't have like enough like main world quests to do that yet. So endgame is kind of like putting on hold for a second, on pause. We're not doing it just yet. And for me, there just wasn't really a lot of content to like record for any. I could try like doing some like free to play warrior stuff, or like try some NanoLight Hattori stuff. Well, let me know in the comments. I even asked in the community post which one you like more, Enfield or NT. And Enfield seems to edge out more in my post, and also in some other other platforms. I see that most people like Enfield. Most people kind of like have a soft boycott of NTE. Still haven't gotten over the Gen AI stuff. And then recently there's even more like drama with NTE when they like where they allegedly plagiarized Wuthering Waves like animations and cutscene with the whole clapping thing and the end game portal behind them. Some say that was like meticulous editing, but safe to say NTE is in a very divisive spot. Not bad, but not perfectly good either. But for my anticipation, I think NTE for the next month might see some drop, because I think the next two characters are not really as good as like something like Hattori. I think Lacrimosa is okay. I expect that Chaos, the first male limited character, might underperform, because I think the target audience has already been like driven away, and they might like flop, like kind of like end up like S rank Billy. Plus he's also in the second half, which is the more drier part of the patch, so that makes things even worse. So what I see the next time NT would gain a lot of interest again would be like when EXC comes out, or some other character that are more popular and hype comes out. I haven't told you guys my forecast for Honkai Star and Wuthering Waves yet, but Honkai Star Rail right now has Blade and also the next character, which I think is going to be the next phase. The next phase is a rerun for Phynon and Cyrene, so that's not very good. And then only until like the next patch would be the Himeko one. So I think Honkai Star Rail would just be like a bit below Genshin. I think Blade is really popular and cool, and also there's Yaoguang rerun too. But I think Lohan would like eclipse Star Rail again. Wuthering Waves, what's the next character? I think it was like the blue hair girl, right? I forgot what the name. I kind of want her because I think she's like a support for Hiyuki. I think Wuthering Waves, I don't remember when is the next. I don't remember when they said the Cyberpunk collab is coming, but I think Wuthering Waves might hit it big soon. So I wouldn't be surprised if Wuthering Waves climbs up the ladder next month. But then again, this sensor tower graph is based on like mobile, so, and a lot of like Wuthering Waves players are on PC, so it might be a bit skewed. So I expect Wuthering Waves to at least be like a bit higher, or like maintain the same position. And then quick word on Zenless Zone Zero. I don't even know what the next character for Zenless Zone Zero is, so not sure about that. I think Zenless Zone Zero currently is not bad. It's just kind of like overshadowed by Wuthering Waves and Honkai Star Rail Anniversary stuff. Alright, finally let's talk about Enfield. So what happened to Enfield? Is Enfield dead? Is this the end of Enfield? Why did it go from 17 million to 4 million? Actually 4 million, if you look at the Enfield community, it's kind of a miracle. They basically did nothing for like the last month. So Zhongfang Yi released in April 17, and then her banner goes all the way to May 2022. And then after that, it was just like 5 or 6 days of like, with like no banner except for like one weird 4-in-1 rerun banner. So I think it was a mistake. Okay, let's admit a mistake. I think it was a mistake for like Zhongfang Yi to be just one very long banner. Or at least like not having like a second limited character. Because I think Zhongfang Yi is a bit like an overhyped character in hindsight. I feel like they could have dropped Mifu in the second half of this Zhongfang Yi patch. But I'm also guessing that they wanted to like stretch out the Zhongfang Yi patch so they could release like Mifu and Camille together. Just, I guess they kind of look aesthetically pleasing together. They're both like red. And plus, we didn't get any information on like the next character until like the very end of May. So like Arknights Enfield felt like there wasn't any content. It was very empty and dry for the entirety of May, honestly. Because most people who were hyped for Zhongfang Yi already had all their fun in like the late April. So is this good or bad for Enfield? Well, to me, I think Enfield next month is going to see a big increase. I remember like a long time ago, I made a video of something like how Enfield is going to dominate the gacha game when NTE, Wuthering Waves, and Honkai Star Rail Anniversary comes up. Well, turns out this is the result. Enfield is just playing passively, playing on the down low during all the competition. And I predict that Enfield is going to surpass like NTE for the next month when Mifu and Camille comes out. when does Camille comes out? Oh yeah, Camille, Mifu and Camille basically comes out in June. Camille comes out in like late June at like June 26th. So Enfield, I think they made some mistakes, but also maybe putting Mifu and Camille together might be worth it. I feel like if they don't want to put Mifu, they could put like Arcane or Li Jiyan together with Zhang Fangyi to spread out even more. Like, you know, Zhang Fangyi, maybe Zhang Fangyi can have like April to May 22nd, and then Arcane can like come at the second half, but like still keep the Zhang Fangyi banner. And I think what they should do is just have like Gilberta rerun and then Levitate rerun, kind of like Honkai Star Rail, instead of their like joint banner weird rerun stuff. I think that might be like more obvious to people who want Gilberta and Levitate to come back for their hype to return. Because I feel like Gilberta rerun would have attracted a lot more people and their interests compared to the joint banner of like 4-in-1 stuff. And also there was like one Umbrella Monument. I think it was added in May. That one really had no hype because Contingency Contract is coming out soon and Umbrella Monument is just kind of there. And the Umbrella Monument is not too easy or too hard. A lot of streamers like, you know, rage over it. I think the latest Umbrella Monument is more like inconvenience than like hard. Especially with the last stage with the frozen enemies and stuff. So Enfield may have underperformed in May by quite a bit. But I think the next patch, they're really fixing a lot of things. First, they fixed the dailies. I think they optimized to make the dailies a bit faster, so solving people's complaints. Second is character interest. They're dropping 2 of the most popular characters coming in soon. Mifu is like already popular, and Camille is like completely new and fresh and hype, and everyone wants it. And then third, we're going to have real endgame mode with Contingency Contract instead of dying from ice. Dying from being frozen in Umbrella Monument over and over again. So Enfield, get ready for the biggest comeback in Gacha games history once again. And that's basically all I have to say for Enfield for now. Is there any other games that I want to talk about? I think no. Anyways, that's the current analysis of the Gacha revenue May 2026. Let me know in the comments what y'all think, and I'll see y'all next time.